This video is really hard to make because I never want to discourage people from getting help. But I also realized that if I don't make this video, I'm kind of fueling this narrative of just get help and everything will be fine. Which is kind of like parents telling you to just do well in your exams and everything will be fine. Everything was not fine, Papa. Hi, I'm Sasha, and today I'm going to talk about what I struggled with when getting help. So, my first therapist was an in-house therapist at a private hospital. I started seeing her after my first suicide attempt. I was honestly just so glad to have a therapist because I'd been wanting to go for so long. And I never did because one, I was dependent on my parents for money, and two, I had no idea where to start. And that's it. I got help. I got better. Bye. Kidding. It actually got a lot worse. My first therapist was actually a horrible fit for me. Initially, it was great. I felt like things were going to get better, and they actually kind of did. But as time went on, it devolved into what I can only describe as pure diarrhea because my therapist and I became close friends. Big problem. And the shortest way I can explain why is this. You don't pay your friends money to listen to you. I ended up paying this woman 1,000 rupees per session to talk about her life. I got scammed. What's worse is that she recognized that this was not healthy and she didn't do anything to stop it. It actually made things worse for me by still trying to conduct therapy when all of the things that make therapy work, all of those boundaries, were broken. I was a 19-year-old girl with really shit mental health and a therapist who was out of their depth and irresponsible enough to ignore my well-being. And this led to me spiraling and eventually attempting suicide a second time. And I met my second therapist who was amazing. Well, that's the end of the story, right? Nope, it's not. I'm still getting started. So I met my second therapist, and now not only did I have shit mental health, I also had baggage from my shitty therapist, some of which I still carry today. An example is I'm very uncomfortable with self-disclosure. This is a little annoying because it would be easier for them to give me relatable real-life experiences from their own lives. But I'm not having it. I am just not comfortable with it. I am actually so scared now of my therapy becoming more about my therapist than myself that I just can't stand it. So that's just one thing I brought in from my previous experience. Another huge hurdle was trust. Understandable because of shitty therapist, but trust is really important for therapy to work. It doesn't have to happen right away, but it has to exist. And it was so difficult for me. It was really hard to believe that my therapist wasn't just there for a paycheck and that she genuinely wanted me to get better. She literally proved this over and over again, and I just couldn't for way too long. And all of this is aside from the actual work I still had to do about my mental issues. And it is work. It is so much work. It is so much hard work, and you don't see the results right away, and it's frustrating, and you fail all the time, and it takes so much time. Unlike my first round of therapy, things didn't get better right away. Sometimes I actually felt like I wasn't getting better at all. I must have asked my therapist like 1,000,000,000 times questions like, when will it get better? Because I didn't know, and I wanted to know, like, when does it finally get fucking better? Because I was so tired. I was so tired of trying. Oh my god, I was so tired of trying so hard and failing. That was a hard truth that I had to swallow. That you can be trying your best sometimes, and sometimes it's still not enough. I still had work to do. And oh my god, talking about hard truths, just getting help by going to therapy was not enough for me. I needed more support. I still had to ask for and get help outside of therapy. Sometimes that meant going to the hospital because I was in a crisis. Not super proud of this, but I never actually did go to the hospital when I was in a crisis because I was always super scared. But that would have been me getting help. Or getting help by calling a crisis hotline, like a suicide prevention hotline. Fun fact, I had a list that my therapist gave me that was full of all of the numbers of crisis survival lines. And one night I actually ended up calling every single number on that list. I had to call every single number because nobody picked up the phone. Yeah, not one of them answered the phone. Uh, it was the worst night. It was so difficult for me to call in the first place, and it went unanswered. I remember that night and just feeling like God or the universe or whoever was supposed to be looking out for me had just abandoned me. Yeah. But that night passed. I got through it. Therapy actually helped me get a lot better and come out of that dark place. But it did take me a lot longer, and the journey was a lot harder than I ever thought it could be. That is the real shit about getting help. It's not like cleansing yourself with Ganga Jal. It's more like swimming through the densely polluted waters of the river Ganga to come out on the other side covered in crap and just dive into it all over again. But like Sir Terry Pratchett said, coming back to where you started is not the same as never leaving. That was a lot. Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough for now. Bye.